Nashville part of your life, who are your drum heroes as far as country is concerned? And is there anybody in Nashville that you met up with, hooked up with musically to check out? And were there any Gretsch involvements in Nashville?
Yeah, well, there's a long list of people who have influenced me country-wise. You know, you can go back, as far as Gretsch goes, I can go back to the guys, the Milton Sledge, who played on all the Garth, like
Yep.
just a swampy player. He was a Gretsch guy. I saw him playing Gretsch a lot. There's another guy, Larry London, who, I don't know if you're familiar with Larry London, but
I was just talking to Sean London on the phone a couple weeks ago.
Oh, were you? Yeah, like.
I met Larry, but anyway, yes.
Oh man, you're so lucky. Like just when I heard his playing on not only the the Elvis-y kind of stuff, but when I heard him on Randy Travis's stuff, his brushwork, his foot, to this day, it just blows me away. Eddie Bayers, of course, Paul Lime, and then you kind of edge into the newer generation of guys. And Rich Redmond was always nice to me at the time. I was with Soner, as was he at that time.
Yeah.
So we got to know each other a little bit. He was always wonderful. And a lot of these guys, the biggest thing, I'll just say it now though, my favorite guy was Greg Morrow. Both I met him. And his playing to me to this day is just something that affected me, and I find that I have a lot in common when I hear how he tracks stuff. It resonates with me, and it would be something that I might think of or do. So Rich, yeah.
So Greg
Morrow's
for
amazing.
Anybody that doesn't know Greg's name, can you give a little background on who he played with, what he's done?
He's known for a lot of the Dixie Chicks stuff, Blake Shelton. He's kind of one of those session guys that's on stuff, but you're not really aware of anything with a big bombastic snap and feel. He's kind of the guy for that. He tracks with this old Slingerland kit too that they sound like Gretsch to me, so that's another thing that I always liked. He has an old Slingerland kit. So that's really my main influences. There's some great new guys. Nerzy's doing stuff in Nashville. There's been some stuff, a couple albums I tracked some on, and he's tracked. So you kind of get an affinity for these guys that you're on albums with. You share duties on stuff.
That must be incredible. That's amazing.
Yeah. As far as rock guys, obviously there's Jeff Beccaro was my biggest one growing up. That Toto 4 album was why I played drums. I'd sit and I'd play. Playing Rosetta got me into college. That was my audition piece. He's amazing. There's just so many great drummers out there.
I know. You see those Facebook posts, list your 10 favorite drummers. I can't. It was ridiculous. So, or even albums. It's like maybe 100 because they're going to do something for it. But there's the special drummers, and Beccaro is definitely one of my, top three. And saw him in '88 with Toto in Toronto, and that was life changing. It had the revolving stage at the old Ontario Place Forum, so I did get to see behind the drum kit. I regret not going up and standing in the line after sound check and meeting him and Luis Conte. I chickened out, and I wish I had. I totally did, but and you can hear his deep voice,
Yeah.
Oh, that was incredible. That is absolutely amazing. What else did I want to ask you? Do you have any vintage drums? Do you own any vintage Gretsch drums at this point?
The only one I have is an old 14x5 aluminum. It's a 70s drum, yeah.
I remember when you got that. Cool.
And it's so funny to me because so many guys are, I've had Jasper kit shells. I've had old drums from Gretsch come and go in my life. But really, people are you got to get a Jasper drum. And there's some truth to it. I think there was a period with Gretsch where it didn't quite have the sound, and I know all Gretsch guys know what I'm talking about. But now I could take a broadcaster kit or a USA Custom, and one fella I know, he's this fellow endorser, Gerard Gannon, I know who you know.
Yep.
He knows Gretsch as well as anybody that I know, and if he's hinting that they're really close to the Jasper, and to my ear, there's stuff. I just love them. I love the stuff they're making now. I think they're making phenomenal shells. But Gerard, you have to talk to Gerard because
I'll be talking to Gerard.
Yeah.
Yet to interview, but that's going to be a real treat for me because we message back and forth, and you guys are always so great. I don't know. I appreciate that. I wanted to see. So actually, so you have, what is your blue kit? The little blue kit. You use that on the dive bar tour with Gord.
Yeah, yeah, that's just a Catalina Club in satin blue flame, I think is what it's
Yeah.
called. But yeah, it's a little 18-inch kick, 12-inch tom, and a 14 floor. The whole idea with that tour was just to take it into some tiny, and I mean they were tiny, like but we were bringing in huge rigs in these small places. So the whole idea was to just start with an affordable kit that was small and would fit. I didn't want to take in a USA custom or anything.
Yep.
One, because of the space, guys are going to be kicking them and running into them. But I also wanted to feature that 30-degree bearing edge at an affordable price with microphones live. Those things were huge, unbelievably huge. And our front house tech didn't want me to stop using them at the end of it. He was just, at first, I remember he's like, "You sure about this?" At rehearsals, and
Yep.
after the first day, he's like, "Holy smokes, that kit's amazing."
Now they're
Um,
mahogany, correct?
they're mahogany, and you can get your Catalina maples and all these different series. But to me, mahogany, if you want tubby and you want something that mics up that's really controlled in a tight space, go mahogany. Go something a little bit softer of a wood. You can put a thinner head on. I put Emperors on them just like I always do, and they
Right.
were fat. The only thing I did was upgrade the rims just
Okay.
to give them a little bit more rigidity, because I'm reefing on them pretty good. So, and you got
What did you put on them? What rims did you use?
a 302.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah.
Yeah, I just upgraded those. I like those. They're a little bit open, but they have a really nice rigid feel to them as well. But yeah, that's all I did to that kit. Factory, used the mounts, used everything that they come with, and anyone who saw that tour, that's an $800 kit or whatever. They're not expensive. They look beautiful. People have no idea how little you pay for those drums.
Right. We had a kit at Gilbert's Music in Aurelia here, and I
Yeah,
remember seeing it, and right around when you were doing this tour, and I'm like, this is the kit that Chad's using.
yeah.
Oh man, and yeah, that's, man, oh man, I got to get some more different Gretsch lines, and I appreciate the fact that you have and promote several different brands. So you've got the Catalina Club, you've got the Broadcaster, USA Customs, and then the Brooklyn.
Yeah,
Man, so that's
and a Renown. I tour the
and
white
the Renown.
Renowns. Yeah, I
Yes,
got the same finish you have. That's
Sat
the kit
White.
I tour with Gord. They sound so good. And the thing is, if people are looking at getting into Gretsch stuff and price point is something, just get Renowns. You're never going to be wanting for anything. They're so good. They're so pure. They have all the punch in the world. They have all the warmth, and the bass drums are just out of this world. Out of
What do
this
you
world good.
what do you have for bass drum batter head?
I use a coated control sound on my bass drums. So it's a P3 coated with a control sound dot in the middle.
Okay, so it warms it up a little bit and gives it some point with the dot.
Absolutely. And I still put a slap pad on it.
Hmm.
But I find that dot just gives you a subsonic.
Really?
You have to try one, because the Remo with that black dot on it, something about it. Just a friend of mine, Tim Anderson, when he was working with Remo, turned me on to that head. He said, "You got to try this head." And ever since, I've used it on pretty much all my kits. It gives you this low end, sub breathy kind of, if you're at a studio, if you use a FET mic at the front of the bass drum head,
Yeah.
it creates that with a dual mic with a 91 and a 52 at the hole, like a two mic combination. You get so much sub.
And what about muffling? What do you have in there?
Just a blanket. I like to use single hand towels. That way I can take them one out, add. It
Yeah.
depends on the studio thing. If I want more open, it's instead of yanking a comforter out, I can pull one little hand towel out. Or I just like to be able to make it malleable and adaptable.
Very good. You can
Yeah,
tell lots of experience talking here.
a lot of frustration. That's how you learn. It's like what works and what doesn't work. That's one thing I'll say about recording at home for me has been, it's really opened my eyes to what is annoying as an engineer and why guys ask things of you. Like, hey, can you make those toms not ring so much? Hey, can you not
Right.
bash your cymbal? Like, I haven't bashed my cymbals for years, but I get it. Like, when you have to engineer your own stuff and send files out or work on them yourself, then you start to understand what people want out of a drummer.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.